This week, Lucas Ordonez takes to the circuit at Motagi for the final event of the Super GT season. We learn more about the engineering in Japan and the Super GT classes, but first, Lucas and his teammate Kazuki tackle qualifying. While Lucas has had the privilege of working with the highly professional and experienced Japanese engineers in his debut Super GT season, the communication between driver and engineer is essential when preparing for a race weekend.
Good communication with the team, good feedback every time you get out of the car. This is a team effort. Everyone has to do his main job in a good way, and together you can, improve and go ahead.
The Japanese engineers are well prepared before a race weekend. They know the cars and tracks inside out.
I have a lot of experience, a lot of feedback from previous races here in Motagi.
Good point is, I know this car 3 years. That's why I don't need so much time. However, the track and tires and temperature, everything, it's changing.
Lucas and Kazuki had already completed a brief practice session providing vital data on how the car is performing.
Kazuki's report and my report has to be the best as possible to make improvements about the tire performance, about the brake performance, about the downforce, about the car balance, if it's oversteer, understeer.
A little bit stronger initial braking, but then, over 800 degree and I can't stop the car. That's what is making understeer on entry.
This weekend has been especially working a lot on brakes performance, brake setup, because it's, Motegi is all 90-degree corners, very tough for the brake, all 100% braking pressure in every corner.
Front-heavy weight distribution of the car means that not only the front brakes need special attention on this circuit.
With the Nismo GT R GT3, we play a lot with the roll bars in the front, especially. But also today we work on the rear.
Anti-roll bars are transverse springs fitted to the front and rear axles. They adjust to the understeer, oversteer balance during cornering, and a softer setting will allow more roll with a tendency towards oversteer.
We struggle a little bit with wheel spinning and slow exit corners, so we work with that, with softer anti-roll bar in the rear. As you can see, lots of information you have to get during the practice sessions to have a good car balance for the race.
As Lucas and Kazuki head for the session's final qualifying, the engineers are busy fine-tuning the car set up to keep the teams competitive. The official qualifying session is split into two parts, Q1 and Q2, and from each team, one driver will drive in Q1, and Q1 decides the top 13 teams who progress to Q2. The other driver from each team then drives in Q2 to decide the final grid position.
I started Q1. My issue was the performance of the brakes. It was the limit of the car. It was the limit of the brake performance.
Lucas finishes in P5 and advances to the second stage of qualifying.
Kazuki had a good beginning of his lap in Q2 at the end P7. We have to be really careful with the brake performance and keeping the tires in good shape until the end.
For the final race of the Super GT season, Lucas and Kazuki will start from P7. Although a higher grid position would be ideal, Lucas isn't too concerned.
Start here are not as critical as in Europe, I think. The drivers try to make more gap between each other, and they take less risk than in Europe into the first corner. Tomorrow I start P7. Let's, have a good pace, and that's it. I'm not gonna take any risk at the start. Super GT, you know, has two big differences in terms of start of the race comparing to Europe. GT500 starts on their own first, and then about 30 seconds behind, the GT300 class comes together.
Well, there are two different classes of car in Super GT. Lucas's team race in the GT300 class, and cars based upon a production car chassis with an engine limited to 300 brake horsepower. The more powerful GT500 class cars are based on a heavily modified racing chassis with engines capped at 500 brake horsepower. Splitting the two classes up minimises traffic from the start.
To have a clean start and to not make any, you know, a huge impact into the, obviously, TV coverage and in terms of risky situations. Too many cars at the same time into first corners.
And the second difference between European racing and the Super GT is the lack of tyre warmers. The drivers have to skillfully work the tyres during the warm-up lap rather than the tyres already being heated up.
So that makes, you know, a really challenging start for every driver to, you know, to work a lot during the warm-up lap, to have enough tire pressure and tire temp to go on the start-finish line.
Well, from the start of each Super GT race, the action unfolds as the GT500 machines skillfully overtake the cars in the GT300 class. It is the morning of the race, and Lucas and Kazuki head to the circuit, which is full of Super GT fans. Lucas is first up in the car for the 250-kilometre race, starting from P7. He will do his stint and then pit to change over to Kazuki, who will then finish the race. Looking after the car during the race is essential for the team to do well.
We have to be really careful with the brake performance and keeping the tires in good shape until the end.
Well, he starts well and is immediately battling with another car.
I had a good start. I overtook one Honda in the first corner, then I fought with another. Then I had a big fight with another Mercedes coming from behind.
Lucas continues to be consistent and does his best to preserve the car for Kazuki.
So it was a crazy battle at the beginning, but also at the same time I was trying to keep the brakes in good shape.
And the drivers change over and the team attempt to save time in the pit stop to maximise their result.
And also the tires. I was that it was different than the others to keep same tires for all the race.
Not changing tyres is a risky strategy due to the high wearing nature of the circuit. Lucas's team are hoping that the tyres hold out, as any time lost changing them will be difficult to make up.
If we tire change, we lose our chance to get podium or whatever a good position.
Anti-roll bar setup is providing more traction in the rear of the car, but this in turn is degrading the tyres quicker, and Kazuki is facing a tough challenge holding on to his place.
Probably the most stuck I ever had before because the brake is really not good feeling, and also the tires really big degradation from the rear.
Kazuki battled hard and did well to finish in 8th, considering the wear and tear on the car's tyres and brakes. Lucas's B-Max GT300 team narrowly missed the overall podium, but there is success in the wider NISMO family, with the NISMO GT500 team winning the race and the overall team championship in their class.
The championship battle was really close. When I was driving also, I saw the Motul NISMO car coming in the lead, so I let him go really quick. Really happy to see them winning the championship.
Despite finishing in 8th, Lucas's B-Max team did all they could on track, far from suited to the GT-R GT.
We knew before coming to Motagi, we knew that it was going to be a tough race for us.
It was really tough for me, but I think it was the best we could do. Good strategy.
Lucas finishes his year with his head held high and accomplished many achievements
Winning a
throughout the
race in
season.
Thailand, setting good pace in every race, learning tracks every time. I have to be really happy, be really proud about what we achieved. My first season as a previous GT Academy winner. Happy with the season for sure, finishing in before my first season here in Japan.
Next time we head back to the UK where the GT Academy rookie drivers take on the last race of their development program, the Brick Car Night Race at Donington Park. The night race will be the first time they have raced in the dark and will be the perfect preparation for their up-and-coming 24 hours of Dubai. And Bob and his team will measure how the rookies perform in night conditions, as this will determine the length of their night stints in Dubai. The race will also be an opportunity for the team to perfect their pit stops and the driver changeover.